Hi guys. Welcome back to Living Your Best Life. Today's dose of positivity. I have a special guest. I am Tracy Lee, and I'm gonna link her channel in the description box or the comments below. But today we're going to do the topic of self journaling for self growth. So I'm going to start with a channel song and we're going to get started. Welcome, guys.
Be encouraged, be inspired, be yourself, you will survive. Just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life.
Okay, guys. So the topic today for discussion is journaling for self growth. And if this is all, I am Tracy Lee. This is not me. I have to give her all her credit where credit is due. So I'm going to let her take this topic over, and I know you guys are going to enjoy it. So go ahead, Tracy.
Hey guys, so of course it is a blessing. It is a pleasure to always be here. I'm grateful to be here, and I'm even grateful to share this topic. Is my mic okay?
Yes.
Okay. I'm even grateful to share this topic. It is something that's really passionate and close to my heart, and I find it to be very, very therapeutic. This year has been really, really challenging. I mean, and that's just to say the least. People have really suffered job loss, and we're at the end of the year and basically most of 2020, 90% of it, we've been in a pandemic. We've had to social distance, and it's just been really hard on people. Personally, for those that are in my sphere of influences, I've made it a habit to do mental health checks on my friends, my family, my loved ones. I feel like it's imperative. A lot of times people don't really realize that having that social disconnect, especially when you're used to connecting with people socially, can be really hard mentally on people. I've heard a couple of stories about a couple of young people who've actually taken their lives during this pandemic. It's just been really, really tough. And, people are struggling mentally, physically, financially, economically, emotionally, just all the way around the board. And so for me, what's helped me, and I like to always share from a personal experience, prayerfully that it will help somebody else. I don't mind being transparent. This pandemic has been challenging, it's been troubling, but I've been blessed to, still have my corporate 9 to 5. I work remote, and I know that's not a lot of people's story. I also have my own business. I have several streams of income. I have a husband who also works. So, it hasn't been really a financial struggle for me and my household, but, looking out and having family members and friends that are directly affected by this pandemic, it's been really, really challenging. And so I challenged a few of my friends that have done mental health checks on to therapeutically, go out and buy a couple of journals, go right to the Dollar Tree. You can get them for $1. I like to get my journals from Barnes and Nobles because I always like the little themed journals, and of course, you can just get them from the Dollar Tree and you can just kind of put on it what you want your journal to be. So, for instance, I am currently working on 3 different journals right now. I have a prayer journal, I have a manifestation journal, and I also have a food journal because I have been actively working on getting this weight off. Now, and the challenge with that has been, hormonal and a whole lot of other things. And so I'm really mindful right now of what I've been eating. And so I just want to encourage you guys. And this, I think that this is awesome that, Living Your Best Life has these segments where, because I feel like these segments too can be looked at as a mental health check for some people who may be dealing with some things, and, they may not really know how to express it verbally. But when you hear the people on the other side talking about the different things that they're dealing with and what they're doing to combat it and to therapeutically work through it, it kind of helps you because you can kind of see yourself and say, yeah, I am in this place, and that is helpful for me. And so I'm grateful for the opportunity to just be able to share where I am right now and what I'm doing to make it through it. Like I said, I haven't directly been affected financially, but mentally I have. And when you're connected to people, when you're aligned with people, you feel them. And so, even though you may not personally be going through something in your own home, when you're connected to people, your loved ones, your friends, those that you've been trusted into your care. Your co-workers and people and things of that nature, you can feel when they're going through. If you're an empath, so to speak, or if you're considerate, or for me, when I see other people go through, I always consider myself. That could be me. And so I'm very, very kind and generous, and just want to give of myself to try to make it a little bit easier for what they're going through. And so right now, guys, I have a Becoming a Better You planner. This is my planner. I hope you guys. Oh, I'm going with my other camera. I got two cameras up, but this is my camera. It is called the Becoming a Better You Planner, and in it daily I get to write down my goals for the day. And I always try to stick with short-term goals. One thing that I've learned when I'm doing my goals, and this is just a personal preference, I don't really like to give myself really big goals, because if I don't reach them, I'm disappointed. And so I try to have realistic goals daily that I know I'm going to make it, I'm going to work towards, and I'm going to get through them, and I'm able to accomplish them. And so this particular planner has been helping me to kind of do that. I also even put down a schedule. I haven't been on YouTube in a while, and I did share that in my last video, why I haven't been on this. There's been a lot going on. But for the whole month, the rest of the month of December, and for the whole month of January and February, I've already planned out, my schedule, my posting schedule. And this planner allows me to do that. So your first journal can be, if you're a content creator, let's start there, because I'm also passionate about branding as well. And so if you're a content creator during this time and you have downtime, just take the time, take 30 days and just literally just, get into your imagination and begin to jot down some things you feel you want to talk about on your channel or share on your channel. And before you know it, you'll look up and you'll have 4 weeks worth of, content. Even if it's just one thing a week or two things a week. Some people like to upload twice a week. You'll look up and you'll have like a whole month worth of content material that you can actually be, it'll make it a little bit easier than you just turning the camera on and like, what am I going to discuss today, or where am I going to go today? So you can start there. So that's just a little nugget for the content creators. I'm going to start with the first thing that I'm dealing with, and that's spiritually. Spiritually, I'm working on with the manifestation journal, things that I want to see and I desire to see for myself, and those that I've seen struggling and going through. And so with the manifestation journal, it's just a journal of affirmations. I get up daily. One of the first things that I put into the atmosphere when I get up is that I'm grateful. First, I give gratitude for the day, and then I declare into the atmosphere that what needs to get done today will get done today. What needs to get done today will get done today. So that's the first thing that I put into the atmosphere. I already set my day up with everything that you need to do today will get done today, period. I didn't go into looking over my goals for the day, my short-term goals. And I know that they're attainable because I keep them where, I'm not blowing anything up and saying, I'm going to do a trillion million things today. And I know that we only have 24 hours in a day. So I'm like I said on the onset, I'm extremely realistic when I am setting my goals. And so that will be the first thing that I would encourage you to do, when you're setting your daily goals, writing them out. And I feel like it's incredible when you write things out, because you get to go back and see it. And then even as these things begin to come to pass, you can kind of check some things off. And, and it makes you feel really, really good, because you get to go back and see, listen, I said I was going to do this, and this, and I actually accomplished it. Another thing that does for you is that it starts to build you up to a place where you don't really need people to validate you. That's another thing that this pandemic has done, is close people off to the place where, some people don't know how to encourage themselves. They don't know how to build themselves up, or speak positivity into their lives, and that's simply because a lot of times all they've ever heard was negativity. And so, and that's a whole nother subject. I can get into it. It's a whole nother subject where you have people now who they needed to go out and go to a job. That was their safe haven. Even some children. I said that, it was safer for some children to be in school than to be at home because some homes are really abusive. It may not be a physical type of abuse, but there's some emotional and mental abuse going on. And it can be amplified even now because parents are losing their jobs. And so they're losing their jobs. They have to figure out what am I going to do with my children that have to now be virtually homeschooled, especially the young ones, because now you have to figure out how you're going to do that and maintain or work your job. And so, like I said, it's just been really extremely stressful. And for me, YouTube is therapeutic. I love YouTube. There's unbeknownst to a lot of people, there's a lot of encouraging channels on YouTube. And so YouTube has definitely kept me mentally sane. I'm not really into television. I don't like I'm very protective over what I allow in my eye gates, my ear gates, and that's not to say, you shouldn't watch television or you shouldn't do, play games, your video games and things like that. This is a personal decision that I've made, especially in this time, to be very mindful of what I allow to go in, literally into my spirit. And so when we're watching TV, we're taking things in. It is called TV programming for a reason. It is programming. And so I'm even really all the way down to the music that I listen to. And I love all types of music, even classical. I love all types of music. But I'm very mindful about what I take in. And I'm using this time to just do a lot of writing. And so I know when you hear about journaling, people think, sometimes these journals, you can get journals that cost a ton of money. And so that's why I suggest you can go right to the Dollar Tree, get you a regular journal or get you a few of them. And so if you want to do like a manifestation journal, which like I said, is just simply you writing down your affirmations and saying what it is that you believe for yourself, what you desire to see for yourself, and just putting them down on paper. You could just write right on the front of your blank Dollar Tree journal, manifestation journal. You can get you a prayer journal. That's another journal that I have. I have a prayer journal, and I've been going back into my prayer journal for 2020 and just seeing all the prayers that have been answered for me. And that's the wonderful thing about putting it down, because you get to go and see, okay, it's a rough time right now. This is what's encouraging about a prayer journal, because you might be dealing with something really rough right now. But if you can go back and see where you were dealing with something even harder and you made it through that, then it kind of encourages you to, to know that if I made it through that and survived, then surely I can make it through this. And so that is what's awesome about having a prayer journal, and that you can write down, prayers for your family, your loved ones, your friends, the nation. Oh, please, the nation, definitely leadership, and just everything that you desire to see come to pass. And when those things begin to come to pass, it's just a really rewarding to see that, okay, I've came through this. Okay. Everybody under the sound of my voice have the same testimony. Today, it is December the 22nd, and we are here. And the testimony is simply, I'm still here. And so if I'm still here, then there's still work to be done. And so what I would suggest when you're working on your journals for change is a part of personal development. Another thing that I'm extremely passionate about, building up myself. Okay. I want to talk about the 3 lines of transformational, personal, and spiritual development: who we are, why we're here, and where we're going. Those are the 3 things that we want to be able to answer. Journaling helps you to get to the answer. It helps you to understand who I am. Okay.
Tracy, can I say something for a second?
Sure, you can. Absolutely.
I was thinking while you were saying that is when you journal, a lot of times when you write something down, things come out of your mind and you write it on the paper and you don't even realize you're like kind of shock yourself sometimes, because you're like, I didn't even know I was thinking that.
Right.
That's the best part of about journaling is you get things that you don't even know that could be in your mind out, and it's a release because you no longer have to hold all of that emotional and mental junk inside of you, and you can get it out without having to tell somebody else your private business, or it's like private, it's like
Yeah.
mind dumping.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that is so true. And again, there's times where when you journal, that you'll go back and read it and you're literally encouraging yourself. You yourself are giving you exactly what you need right then and at that moment. And I think that is so powerful. Sometimes, have you ever really like encouraged somebody else? You're talking to somebody else. You're in a down place, but you're encouraging and trying to build up somebody else, and you realize, hey, I'm talking to myself. I'm not just encouraging them or encouraging her, or encouraging him. I'm literally giving myself what I need. The powerful thing in that is that everything that we need, we have. Like, this is what you come to establish when you're writing these things down, when you're journaling. Biblically, the Bible says, write the vision and make it plain. And I think that's a powerful scripture because it's basically saying the same thing. Write what you want to see. Write what you desire to see for your life. Write what you desire to see for your family. Write what you desire to see for this nation. And so, because it's not just us, like literally we have to deal with us first. But ultimately, everything that we go through is for somebody else. This is what I've realized. Every single thing that we go through, that we survive through, is for somebody else. And so then when we come and share on these platforms like this, literally we're giving to somebody else. And so what I survived is for somebody else. And when we think about it like that, and realize that I'm not the only one that's going through this, I'm not the only one that's dealing with this. One thing I can tell you that Corona taught us is that we are all on the same level playing field. There's people who have 7 figures who are struggling right now, people who have businesses who have had to close the door to their businesses because of their businesses entail people coming to a place to be social. So if you no longer can be social for months, then that business is ultimately losing money. And there's a lot of businesses that needed to shut down. And so all the way from literally where you think the poorest person all the way to people who have money. I'm not going to say who may have money, who have money. We are all dealing with this pandemic. Like, we can't escape it. Another thing that it revealed, it literally, I said 2020 is the year of open vision. It showed us things we never saw before. Literally, it revealed things to us we knew, we just never saw. People were kind of in their houses with it. Now they're out with it. They're telling you what's on their mind. They're telling you how they feel about things, this and that. And so people are being brutally honest. And so, what do we do with this information? Some people really can't handle that. And so for me, my prescription to you would be to get you something and write it down, literally. I agree with you, Queen. It is like a emptying out. Sometimes we don't have people we can talk to. And so it's okay to write your own self a letter. That's the most therapeutic thing, to sit down and write yourself a letter and tell yourself how you've been feeling. Tell yourself what you desire to see for yourself. What it is, that the areas of your life that you feel that you need to change or elevate a little higher. What can you do to reach your goals? Like, even though we're in a pandemic, this is a great time for online business. People are shopping online. And so, get creative, use your imagination. And a lot of times when you tell people to use their imagination, it's like, how do I do that? Because people have been so numb, until, how do I use my imagination? How do I stir up that creativity? You write. This is what you have to do. Habits are learned by you practicing them. And so if I practice imagination, take time out every single day and write down some creative things and things that I'm passionate about, ultimately I'm going to come to the place where I realize my passion, where I discover what it is that I'm passionate about, what it is that I'm good about. And the way that it comes is not me waiting for somebody to tell me. And that's where I feel like a lot of people are. They're waiting for somebody else to tell them what they should be doing. You know, they're waiting for somebody else to tell them how they should be moving and
or give them permission.
right, or and that's it, sis. That's key. They're waiting for somebody else to give them permission. They're waiting for that validation. Validate yourself. And and I understand that's easier said than done, but the power in journaling gets you to that place because it builds you up to believe that you can do what you're writing on that piece of paper. And so the more that you write it, the more that you see it, revisit it, is the more that you're going to believe it. The way that when I, like I said, when I got up, I said, what needs to get done will get done. When I first started doing affirmations, I didn't just get up and say them. I had posties all over the place. So daily, I'm
Oh
reminding
goodness,
myself.
you sound like me.
Yeah. So even though I said it at 6 a.m., I needed a reminder at 2 a.m. I can look up on my laptop and say, what needs to get done must get done. Or if I'm going to the refrigerator, there's the postie on the refrigerator. What needs to get done will get done. If we see something enough, if we practice it enough, then we come to believe it. And so that's how we come to believe. People who do affirmations, they don't just say it one time. There's another one. I'm so grateful and so thankful today that, or especially when I'm making affirmations with where my money is concerned, I'm so grateful and so thankful that I'm making my yearly income with my online business now in a month. So I'll say that, but I'll also write it down 100 times. It's not just you, saying it out of your mouth. You got to get to the place where you believe it. That's what journaling does. Journaling helps you to believe that you can. It helps you to believe that you can do this, that nothing is impossible. I mean, literally nothing is impossible. I like to say that sky is not the limit. For me, it's just a view. I'm trying to reach beyond the stars, And so if I say sky's the limit, I'm putting a limitation on myself. No, sky's not the limit. It is simply the view. That's it. So you can go as far as you desire to go. Okay. Also, during this time of journaling, I'm also reading. I'm feeding my mind and my spirit. And so there's a book, and I like to suggest it is by Dr. Wayne Dyer, and it is titled "You Are What You Think." And this is what it looks like. You are what you think. And I think that this is an incredible book because we absolutely are what we think. And so if if I am what I think, and I'm thinking all day long, then all day long I'm creating, right? All day long I'm manifesting, right? I'm manifesting what it is that I think about myself. And so I have to write down what it is that I think about myself and journal what I think about myself, or else the negativity of what other people may have said or what I may have dealt with in my childhood is going to dictate to me who I am. And those are limitations as well. And so journaling is therapeutic in that it helps you to deprogram. It helps you to move away from the negativity of what somebody else may have said over your life. A power of life and death is in the tongue. If people are speaking over your life, ultimately, and I know for children who are being told that they're stupid or they'll never be anything, they grow up as adults believing that they're stupid and they'll never be anything. Why? Because we are what we think. And so journaling is just a way of you getting away from the old shifting mindset. Journaling to change means that I'm writing down what I believe about Tracy, what I feel about Tracy, what I desire for Tracy, and not just me, those that are in my sphere of influence. And so it's just been really, really therapeutic, really, really helpful. There is a couple of other books. I'm reading another book called Intentionality. Let me show you this one. I love to read. I have always loved to read. And I talked about a little bit with my childhood, having to deal with negativity. I was in the honor society. I was not the high school kid that cut class. I was a leader. I was not a follower. So you kind of, peer pressure is real, and people would tease me for doing the right thing. They would come for me for doing the right thing, right, but it didn't stop me. But of course, it made me feel weird. It made me feel peculiar because should I be cutting class because everybody else is doing it? Should I be behaving the way that everybody else is behaving? And in life, people will make you feel like you're doing the wrong thing when you're doing the right thing. And
Right.
so I did come up thinking, I was outside or outcast, and I kind of um made myself seem like, well, people would make me feel like I was antisocial, but I wasn't antisocial. It was just I was an honor student. I was in the honor society, and I got teased because of that, which is weird. And so another book I'm reading is called Intentionology: 365 Days of Living on Purpose. And this is an incredible, incredible book. The author is Liz Garrett. And so every day, for those who have an hard time in the beginning, even thinking of an affirmation, or knowing how to set an intention. Setting an intention is just you putting the atmosphere and putting the affirmation into the atmosphere for your day. You're setting your day. That's what you're doing. You're setting your day. And so this book helps you to build up your affirmations and things like that, and it gives you something every single day to put into the atmosphere. And so that's a good way of, if you're journaling, you can couple the affirmation book with that, and build your affirmations up that way. So mentally, I am working on my mental with the manifestation journal. I've already started it for 2021. I'm like halfway through January, and I'm expecting incredible things to happen in my life in 2021. Okay. So my prayer journal, I'm still doing my prayer journal. There's so many prayers that I've seen come to pass in 2020, and I'm expecting greater for 2021. And I wasn't always in this place, but I built myself up to this place by actually journaling and going back and revisiting it. When you exercise a thing, it gets stronger. And so if you're not exercising your creativity, if you're not exercising your imagination, if you're not exercising writing down what it is that you desire for you, and you're letting somebody else dictate to you what you should be doing, where you should be, where you shouldn't be, putting limitations on you, then that's going to be a really weak area of your life. But if you begin to exercise it, pick that pen up, get that journal, you know what I'm saying, and just start to exercising your creativity down on paper, exercising what it is you desire to see for you on paper. I don't know what's going on with my life.
Well, that's okay. I just wanted to interject for a moment. I also want to add to that. Also, it's important when you're going through this journaling process to have other people on your team who are doing the same thing, because I feel like that's a vital thing towards journaling. It doesn't matter how much you want to do something. If you keep surrounding yourself by people who are negative, people who are going to be blocking those type of blessings and your personal growth, then you're not going to get anywhere. You have to surround yourself with like-minded people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you definitely want to change people, places, and things.
Mm-hmm.
Any type of lifestyle change is going to require you to, and it's not always comfortable. People are used to being comfortable. Like listen, I mean, I know it's not a good place for me to be, but I'm comfortable here, and so they will settle for that place because this is what I know. This is all I know. And so anytime you start to talk to people about moving outside of a comfort zone or doing something different, well, this is what I've done all my life. This is what my mother did. This is what my grandmother did. This is what her mom did. And so I don't know anything else. And so you can develop your own way of doing things. And if you've been exposed to a negative environment, negative people, low vibrational people, you definitely want to change people, places, and things. And you want to get a network of people. You want to align with a network of people that are doing the same thing. I like to surround myself with people that know more than me. I've always been that person. People that are older than me, people that know more than me. I love that because I'm coachable and I'm teachable and I'm open to learn. My ultimate goal is to get to the best version of myself. And so that means that, of course, if I'm journaling, that's one thing. But like you said, every aspect of your life, you want to close the door to anything that's going to contradict what you are putting down about yourself, what you're trying to change in your life. You definitely want to close every single door that is not going to help you get to the next level of you. And so, I think that's great. I've even thought about starting a book club with some of these incredible books and just like
That
taking
would be great.
chapter at a time and even coming to elaborate on it on on live like this. And because I think that that's another way of building up who you are when you begin to see that, yeah, I don't have to be this person, and see what get, just take on some tools, different building tools and things like that to help you in your journaling journey. And so, yeah, that's basically what I wanted to share. I want to encourage you, if you haven't journaled before, to just try it. Start writing. Some people are like, well, I don't know what to write. Just open it up and just start writing. And the more that you do that, the more that things will come to you to write. Write about how you feel. Write about what the year's been like for you. Put down your, how you're feeling mentally. That helps me mentally. Like, this is how I keep my mental health in check, by writing down how I feel so that I don't have to carry it. That is a way of releasing it and putting it down. And no, you don't necessarily have to tell another person, but you're going to get to a place, or you may get to a place, maybe 2-3 journals down the line, where you're going to pick that first journal up and begin to share with people where you were, because you see them there and you know that there's a way out. And so I just think it's awesome that we have the opportunity to come and share and let people know that, yeah, it's been rough, but it's okay. We're still here. That is the testimony. The testimony is that we are still here.
Yes.
We're still here. And I think that's incredible. I think it's awesome, because everybody can't say that. Somebody unfortunately laid down last night that they didn't get up this morning. They did not. And so since you're still here, you might as well do something with your life. Start by, go to the dollar store, Dollar Tree. I like to say the Dollar Tree, because everything in the Dollar Tree is $1. So if you go to the Dollar General, it might not be $1. It's just called the Dollar General.
Right.
Right. So the Dollar Tree, you definitely can get you some journals. If you have it's another place. It's called Burlington. I don't know if you guys have a Burlington near you. Yes, they have journals $4 and $5. Really pretty, beautiful journals, really cheap. And start there. Even if you want to start with one journal. If I had to suggest a journal for you to start with, it would be a manifestation journal, because that journal, you get to write about you, especially people who don't really feel too good about themselves. You get to write the opposite of what you feel. And the more that you do that, you'll begin to feel better. And then you can move on to your creativity, or your creativity journal, or move on to a planner where you're planning out your week and then your month ultimately.
Yeah.
Or you can move on, because I want to get to the place where I have 3 months worth of content in advance. Right now, I'm only a month, but I pat myself on the back, because I would come and turn my camera on and sit there and say, okay, I'm going to talk about this, after I thought about it for a while. So now I've had this planned out. I want to do things differently, and so planning it out helps me to really be able to research and really bring you guys some substance with content, and not just me just pulling straws while I'm sitting in front of the camera. So journaling is incredible. Journaling is therapeutic. And I mean, literally, it's life changing. And so that's why I thought of the topic journaling to change, because if you journal, you will change. If you commit to journaling, you are going to change, because you're going to see, you can go back to day one and see where you started. And the more that you write, it builds up your writing skills as well. It definitely builds up your writing skills. And so start with a manifestation or prayer journal. And then you can go from there, and you can have all types of journals. Like I said, I got a food journal. I do have the manifestation journal, the prayer journal. I got a budget journal. I got a branding journal, and I have a branding, not a branding journal. I got the branding journal, and I do have, take time out every single day to read. And reading is a part of my self-care.
Mm-hmm. I have one to add to that, Tracy. I have one that maybe a lot of people don't think about, but I have a purging journal. And
wow.
For those who don't understand that, my purging journal is things that only I know about, things that I have inside of me that I want to let go. So
That's awesome.
I keep writing it into, and then sometimes I'm surprised, like a month later, I'm not writing about that anymore because it has literally
You
been
purged. Yeah, that's powerful.
Mhm.
That's incredible.
Out of
Oh,
a
I'm gonna
purging
have to get me a
journal.
Persian journal.
Yeah, get a purging. I'm telling you, you wouldn't be.
Oh well, so you know what? I think that that would be great for people to start with
I
because
think
you
that
know,
would
empty
be,
out.
that's where I started. That's what my therapist recommended to me, a purging journal.
That's powerful. That's absolutely powerful. So I think that that would be a great journal to start with for people who are just journaling, starting a journal, so that they can get it out, so that now they can start to fill themselves with all the amazing things that's
Mhm.
going to help them build to the place of being the best versions of themselves. So
Mhm.
I do think that's incredible. I do.
I started with purging and then I went into the affirmations journal.
Okay.
That's what I went from that to that. So I still go back to my purging when I feel something come up in my spirit. I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, it's time to purge.
Right. And see, that's another thing journaling does. Journaling helps you to identify when you need to revisit something. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? Whereas when you don't really, when you don't journal, don't really deal with that part of yourself, you just carrying stuff around. Like literally, you're just adding to stuff. And so I think that's incredible too, that you can actually see when you need to go back and revisit something. And me too, even with my food journal, it helps me. Like when I want to go off and eat like a savage, I have to go pick that journal up and say no, because this happened, and this happened when you ate that the last time. And so it's really like a diary, so to speak. You're keeping, um,
Mhm.
a diary of where you are and where you're trying to get to. And I just think it's incredible.
Yes, it is incredible. So thank you so much for collaborating with me on this topic.
Absolutely. I love it. Absolutely love it, Queen.
So I'm going to link your channel in the description box. And
Okay.
like I always tell everybody on every single dose of positivity, just know it, just breathe it, and be it, because you have to know that you're deserving of better. You have to believe it, so you have to become it, and then you have to live your best life.
Yeah.
So do it in that order, and keep doing and being yourself. So thank you.
Be encouraged, be inspired, be yourself.